heat. Wow. Well, this season, Xavier has been the team dominating the A-10, and out-of-conference wins against Indiana and K-State make you think the Musketeers could do some serious damage in this year's NCAA tournament. The X-Men, however, don't subscribe to the age-old adage, winning isn't everything, it's the only thing.
For us here at Xavier University, it isn't enough to have a program that's successful on the court.
I just knew like it was something about Xavier that was going to put me in the best situation for me to graduate.
We're probably I would say, the single most unique college basketball program in the country when it comes to academic advising when guys leave. If you talk to every one of them, one of the first people they'll mention would be Sister Fleming.
Just coming on my visit, you want to see all the campus and the girls, but then they take you over to this little office and you meet Sister Roseanne Fleming and you're like, wow, this is who I'm about to be attached to for the next 4 years.
I came here to teach, and one of the first individuals that I met was a basketball player. It was in one of my classes, and the coach would call me about every other week to see how that basketball player was doing. Fortunately, probably for me as well as for him, he finished successfully at the end of the first semester I was here.
Our biggest record is that we've had 70 straight basketball players graduate. This is a legacy that goes back a long, long way.
Since she stepped foot on this campus, there has never been one senior basketball player not graduate.
The player has to understand that first and foremost, we are here for them. They aren't here for us. That the university exists for them to grow and develop and to become an educated individual while they are on the Xavier campus.
I worked for Sister Fleming, as did Pete Gillen, as did Skip Prosser, as did Thad Mata. I mean, if we run into a problem, it's an easy solution. Whatever she says goes.
At first, I was like, man, all these hours of study hall. But then when you get to the end, you understand that it's all worth it. She's going to put you in a great position to be able to graduate on time and just to have a great academic experience while you're here at Xavier.
Sister's person, it's always smiling. She brings a smile to you even if you're having a bad day.
Always the same expression, just sitting there smiling.
Always smiling. I mean, that's the number one thing.
I mean, it could be like a fire, and you just see her, smiling.
I think a real ingredient into the long-term success that we've had as a program is her in combination with the university. That is the one constant. It hasn't changed. In large part, that translates right onto the practice court. That translates right into the team approach.
I'm happy for them. I have a lot of pride in thinking that they're succeeding for themselves. My pride basically is in the fact that they have used their talents to develop.
Coaches win games, administrations create successful programs, and it's terribly important for us to win the way we win.
They're going to end up in an individual who's benefited by the enhancement of Jesuit education, and I think leave here feeling very successful, that they have the potential of making a difference in this world.
Well, to stick with the whole religious angle of this story, Xavier's sort of had an unorthodox way of enforcing the student portion of the student-athlete. Guys, particularly in light of the 19-year-old NBA rule that's been enforced of late, how much do you think sometimes the classroom gets lost these days?
Well, there's no question it gets lost oftentimes, and that's why this story is so refreshing. As a matter of fact, Sister Roseanne had made me sit up and take notice because having a Catholic school education myself, I still have welts on my hand from Sister Thiefane smacking me around. But there's no question that, we live in a business-oriented world, and a lot of college athletics is very business-oriented.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I think the 19-under rule has done one thing. It's kind of created a bit of a mythology out there about whether these guys are still actually going to school. I think if you looked in the backpacks, a lot of the guys that are going pro early during the tournament, they wouldn't have any school books in them. They're just majoring in eligibility as long as they have to, and then they're dropping it.
You look at Xavier on the court, 3 starters returning from last year's NCAA tournament team. What do you think it is about this year's squad that's got them clicking on all cylinders?
I think it's accountability. Obviously Lavender makes them good, but just the whole process of they're accountable for every portion of their life, and that lends itself to being a a good teammate.
Yeah, you know what? They're a good team. They are very fast-paced. They like to rip and run. Drew Lavender pushes the pace. They're very balanced. They got 6 guys in double figures, and they're going to be a tough out. They were a tough out last year. Darn near beat Ohio State, which went to the national title game.
Well, yeah, Lavender, who you remember was a 2-year starter at Oklahoma before he transferred, has been used not just on the scoring end, but he is also one of the top assist guys this season in the